Okay, welcome back, and now we're going to talk about parentheses. So now parentheses you've seen before are grouping symbols. Okay, so one of the things that most common thing you use parentheses for, other than as you've seen in the last video with multiplication, is for grouping things together. So in algebra, it's very important to make sure that we pay attention to grouping symbols. Now grouping symbols could be parentheses, or curly braces, or it could be square brackets. Now, in general, there are other grouping symbols or other symbols that can act as grouping symbols. Okay, but I'm not going to go over those in detail now. But for example, square root symbols, absolute value symbols can also act as grouping symbols from time to time. Okay, so but these are the common ones. So parentheses, brackets, braces, anything that is used to group things together. Okay, so for example, in this case here, what the parentheses are saying is I want to treat this as a single entity. Okay, so I want to do all these numbers together. Okay, and then whatever this turns out to be, I want to multiply this thing, this entity, by 2. Okay, so again, as you've seen before with the order of operations, we do whatever's in the parentheses first. Why? Because we want to treat this as a single entity, and so it's always better and to simplify this in parentheses first to avoid getting the wrong answer. Okay. Likewise, here we have parentheses with a power, right? So again, remember the exponent tells us that we're going to multiply this by itself twice. And so again, I'm taking this entire entity and I'm squaring it. Okay, so it's not squaring just one piece of it. I'm saying, hey, I want to take this entire thing and square it. So this means I'm taking this whole thing and multiplying it by itself. Okay. Also, the last thing is it helps us as far as we want to use grouping symbols if we want to subtract one entity from another. So again, this is very important because students will make the mistake and they'll forget that, hey, this subtraction means I'm subtracting this entire thing. I'm not just subtracting x squared. And what some students will do, and pay attention here, what some students will do is they will drop the parentheses and think this is correct. And what they've just done is they've changed the problem, because now what it says is I'm subtracting just this term. Whereas the parentheses tell the viewer, tell the person who's looking at this, that I'm not subtracting just this piece, but I'm subtracting this entire piece. And so I have to treat it that way. So that means I'm subtracting this piece and this piece. Okay? And so we'll get to that a little later. But again, this is part of dealing with the algebra. Okay. Have a great day.